It's getting harder to leave Thailand. I mean, I used to look forward to the little breaks from the tropical heat and everything for a little short while. Kind of a respite from the southeast humidity. But the last two times I've found the experience kind of dreary. When I think of the States, I don't miss the daylight savings time clock changes. I find the lack of daylight hours in the winter depressing. And quite frankly, lately the prices have gotten out of control. When I'm back in the States, I feel like a stranger in a strange land. A schooner with no anchor, adrift in a suburban wasteland of muted colors and endless parking lots. Sure, the smell of pine, juniper, and cypress brings me back to my childhood, but little else feels familiar. And it's not just the United States. I've been to Singapore and Europe, and each time it felt like an aching in me was growing every time I was away for more than a few days. A beckoning back towards the kingdom. It's been a while since I made a video, mostly because I was away, but also the last 5 days or so I've been battling a cold. This seems to happen every time I leave. I've returned to the kingdom alone this time, while my mother gets some of her affairs squared away in the United States, with the indelible and always cherished help from my sister and her family. Now, flying alone for me is normally easy and stress-free. It's just not free of annoyances. I sat next to a couple. They had the middle seat and the window seat while I was sitting in the aisle. And just to be affable and friendly and let them know that I had absolutely no qualms about getting up, I made sure to tell them that early on. And I sincerely meant it. When we're flying in coach, it's just plain torture, so I wanted them to know that I had absolutely no problems getting up whatsoever. They could even wake me up to do it if they wanted to. Now, this would come back to bite me because in the first 2.5 hours or so of the flight, I got up 6 times. So the man in the window seat could get a beer and pee because he was drinking so much beer. 6 times. I believe I got up a total of 11 times on the flight, once for his wife or girlfriend, and 8 times for him. 2 of those 8 times was me wanting to go use the toilet as well. Now, the flight attendants finally cut him off after 6 trips. For 2 of them, he actually managed to get 2 beers in one go, so that's like, 8 beers in 3 hours or so? Now, here's the real beauty. His wife or his girlfriend had severe motion sickness, and she sat in the middle chair between us, vomiting into her barf bag every so often, throughout the entire 15 hours when she was awake. Now, I'm not going to dump on her. Flying in coach, once again, is traumatic. And not everybody can handle being on a plane, especially when you have to hit turbulence from time to time. That can really do a number on a person's stomach. But it doesn't make it fun. Once again, flying coach is pure torture. Additionally, the young man behind me was possibly the tallest Asian man I had ever seen in my life, and though he tried his very best to sit politely, his knees would often catapult themselves into my butt cheeks. Badunk-a-dunk-a-dunk, if you know what I'm saying. The old elderly gentleman in front of me was a very polite guy, and like me, got up whenever he needed to let the people beside him go and use the toilet. This happened 4 times at least, and each time that he had to get up, he stood there, using the back of his chair, i.e. the front of my chair, as a brace. His fingers would spill into my screen, and when I was sleeping, it would turn the screen on. If I was watching a movie, it would pause the movie or take me out of the movie, therefore I would have to go back and find my spot. Now, I wasn't angry at him at all. He was being very polite to the young couple, and he was doing what he could. But once again, flying in coach is pure torture. It's basically punishment for the commoner. When I finally got into Bangkok, that's a 15-hour flight, by the way, Suvarnabhumi Satellite 1 terminal is really nice, very pretty, and the train takes you directly to the front of the immigration processing and baggage check-in area, so you don't have to do a lot of walking when you're coming from Satellite 1. You just get on the train and it takes you exactly where you need to go. By the way, I haven't done a video up until now because of the cold, and the symptoms started showing on my bus ride from Bangkok to Khon Kaen. Luckily, it was a half-empty bus, and I was the only person sitting in the front row. Needless to say, I'm glad to be back. Coming back was, well, it was an eye-opener. It's amazing what can happen in 3 weeks. 3 weeks ago, everything was normal. Now, I've got a termite problem in the house. I had to hire a company to take care of it, and the process will take about 3 months, according to the company, to get fully rid of the termites, at which point they will drill tubes into the property. Apparently, according to the termite liaison lady that was speaking with me, who could speak English, new houses in Thailand are supposed to already have this done. I emphatically insisted that ours wasn't. Luckily, the house is only a year and a few months old, so we caught the problem pretty early on and there's no real damage. I'm sad to say that my flowers are dead, and I was really sad to see that. But I expected it. 3 weeks is a long time in the heat with no rain. I'm just so glad to be back in Thailand. I can't believe how hot it is here already, and that's okay, I guess. I'll take the heat over the cold any day. It's just nice to be back in the land of coffee shops and heat and happiness and smiles everywhere. I know I'm oversimplifying the Thai people, but there is a vibe here that it's just unshakable. Once you've gotten used to it, you feel robbed of it, bereft of it when you're away from it. So I'm just so happy to be back. By the way, I will be featuring this coffee shop sometime in the future. I didn't have all my equipment with me. I was actually just going to the macro down the street, and I decided to stop in the coffee shop to see what it was like. It's a famous enough coffee shop to where it really doesn't need me promoting it or anything like that, but I was impressed by it. I did like it, so I will be promoting it. Once again, I'm glad to be back. This is a short video, sorry about that, but I'm still slightly recovering, trying to get my voice back. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Once again, I love you guys. I'm so glad to be back with you guys. I fully and deeply appreciate you, and I wish you all the best in your life. Hopefully 2026 is turning out to be great. If not, let's make it great. See you next time.